So the whole point of this fix today is going to educate you on getting your golf club moving in the appropriate direction and position at takeaway, and also finding that all-important delivery position when that club shaft gets back to ground parallel just prior to that all-important impact position. The alignment stick here, I've angled this alignment stick pretty much the same angle at setup position to my 7-iron, which, to be precise, it's approximately 60 degrees on my swing plate guide here. So my stick is in place. I've positioned an alignment stick outside of the base of the stick, and I've positioned my golf balls here just towards the end of the alignment stick. So if we haven't got another alignment stick here, the distance here, it's approximately a driver length away from here. The length of this stick is pretty much the same as a driver. So I'm going to remove the two balls on the inside. I'm going to focus just at this point on my object ball and take my setup position. Now, we'll talk about this ball in just a second. Now, from here, if I start my golf swing, what I'd be looking for when I get to that halfway back, so my club shaft gets to ground parallel, I would love to see that golf club shaft pretty much cut in across the line of my toes. So the golf club shaft here is absolutely parallel to my intended target line, with the bottom leading edge of the golf club pretty much in line with my back. So for simple takeaway, if I just make my backswing and I deliberately now just want to touch that club shaft very, very lightly onto the alignment stick, the butt of the golf club here is pretty much over my toe knuckles right here on my right shoe. So I'm not going excessively wide, and I'm certainly not going too narrow at this point. So find the stick, top of the backswing. So notice from here that my left arm is pretty much in line with this alignment stick. It's parallel to that alignment. If that left arm works across my chest, that'll be known as me being too flat, too rounded. If that left arm gets too vertical, this is me now getting too upright. So again, we just get so many wins from a simple alignment stick. So what I would do from here, lots of repetitions, going backswing to touch out, top of the backswing, and then what I'd like to do here, I want to find that stick again at delivery position. Interacting with the stick, I'm just lightly touching the stick, so the club shaft here is absolutely parallel to that of the target line. And again, just cutting straight across the line of my toes. Now from there into impact. Backswing, touch it, downswing, touch it, find an impact. So lots of repetitions here, slowly but deliberate. Gives me a great feeling of where I need to be. So typically what we would see for the slicers, here on the downswing, we'd see that golf club now really working over the top of this alignment stick. So a whole bunch of space here between the club shaft and the stick. And we'd see that golf club then exiting way, way to the left. And typically for the hookers, for the pushers, for the blockers, we would see the club shaft here working too far underneath the stick here on the downswing, therefore bringing ground contact into play that little bit too soon. Not necessarily always going underneath it on the backswing, but yeah, your typical drawer or hooker would really be working that golf club too much underneath the stick out there to the right side of the target. Lots of this, though, is all dependent on club face control. So we're talking about plane here, swing direction. We also need to make sure our club face and hands are in a great position in order to be able to control that club face accordingly. So if I was practicing here, I would have lots of reps, as I said here, just really working that club shaft as close, just touching out on that stick all the time, just tapping that stick on the backswing. I have a tendency of the golf club working away, so that really feels like I'm working the club in to find that stick. Really want to feel like I'm getting that golf club again, just interacting with the stick here on the downswing. Lots of repetitions from there. Now, I find it quite difficult hitting shots with the stick there. I remember as a youngster using an old club shaft stuck in the ground and actually snapping a club as I struck it on the downswing. So that's kind of stayed with me forever. So I would actually use this, deliberately touching the stick just for practice swings only. So if I move ahead of the stick here, there's going to be absolutely no interaction with the stick whatsoever. What I would do here, I would film myself and get some fantastic feedback to see how close I get to that alignment stick. Let me show you how I'd do that. So I'm going to take my ball, position it in line with my target line. Now, I'm going to get my tripod ready. You'll notice this ball which I've positioned here. This ball I've positioned on the ground here is directly underneath my hands, underneath the line of my hands. And this ball is solely for camera purposes only. So for this, we're going to need a phone. I'm going to need a tripod. So firstly, let's talk about the height of the tripod. Now, I want the tripod or the camera lens to be pretty much the same height of my hands. This tripod here very rarely moves, as in height-wise, and from there, I'm just going to stick my phone onto it. So the phone is now on. I'm going to put my phone into selfie mode, which is absolutely game-changing when filming yourself, by the way. Carefully position the lens of my phone to be directly behind the line of my hands, which is this golf ball here, and the intended target line. Turn around here and just check. That's absolutely brilliant. Love that right there. Okay, don't forget to press record. Okay, when ready, now I'm going to put it on the golf ball and see how close I was. So my rehearsal swings are absolutely on point. So again, just getting some great feedback there from the alignment stick and the actual camera. Can I do that on the golf ball? I've actually got the alignment stick here slightly steeper than my club shaft, so I'd learn from this. If I stop it at club parallel, so notice there, when I get to club parallel there, my club shaft, again, from there, is just that little bit away from the stick, so just a little bit steep. Left arm, top of the backswing in a decent position. And again, here on the downswing here, again, I'm just working away from that stick a little on the downswing. So I would actually want to see that a little bit closer. So now my practice continues. I just had some immediate feedback there from just taking a very quick look at my camera roll there to see exactly where my club shaft was. So I've just used the basic settings there on quite a dated iPhone, and it was perfectly good enough for what I need at this moment in time. So for me, my practice continues. I've got to still work that golf club in. I've got to really feel like the golf club is now, for me, I've got to really feel like I'm working that club shaft, almost feel like I'm underneath it. Okay, I'm going to really feel I'm working in. I'm going to really feel I'm working that club shaft underneath it. Moving away from the ball. Contact there a little thin. So my strike there was a little bit on the thin side. So, which is quite on point as well. So I want you to understand when you're working on plane changes here and when you're working on swing work, the chances are your strike, your contact, your overall outcome here from the ball flight is not going to be desirable. But the better we get at this and the more we actually ingrain this move into our golf game here, we can shift our attention more so based on quality of strike, ground contact, face contact, start line, without having to worry about where that golf club's going, which is absolutely necessary if you want to play some of your best golf. Now, I must stress here though, guys, we're not looking for picture perfects. If you are the kind of guy there who hits that little bit of a fade, who works that golf ball from the left back to the right, and you're working that club ever so slightly steep, that is fine as long as we can monitor that to make sure that the club isn't getting too far out in front of you, or to make sure the golf club isn't getting too far inside, which would be more on plane, which would then cause that missed tendency to the right. It's just great feedback to understand exactly where your golf club is traveling throughout the golf swing. So I can absolutely assure you guys that this has helped me massively with my golf game over the years. It's a big part of my golf coaching, and this has helped a lot of my golfers achieve some great things out there on the golf course. Any questions whatsoever about this, please don't hesitate to ask. Have an amazing weekend, happy golfing, and I really look forward to catching up with you again really, really soon.